If you've watched my videos before, you know that I just recently bailed on all my Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Nvidia, and AMD because I think there's some tremendous downside to the market right now for geopolitical reasons, as well as inflation and other interest rates and situations here in the United States, but more importantly, geopolitical. But I do continue to hold about 10 stocks in the biotech field that I think are going to take off. Now, why do I hold them and let big tech go? Well, when they prove their concept, that is genome sequencing, genome editing, and genome therapy, they're going to take off like a rocket, and I want to continue to hold them, and I'm continuing to add to my holdings, and I want to show you why.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Okay, let's do a quick review. Yesterday I did a video and I gave you 20 reasons why I was getting out of big tech and why I was building a heavy cash position. And it really boils down to two names, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. And then I guess you got to throw in Jerome Powell too and his raising of interest rates. We just got a lot going on that is going to push this market further down. And it could go, the extreme is World War III and maybe even Civil War here. That's the extreme. But I just don't think there's getting any way around the fact that the S&P 500 is going to go down further. The NASDAQ is going to go down further. I'm even considering shorting the NASDAQ because the situation isn't ripe for technology to take us up, which we will eventually go, but we got to get through this. As I said in the video yesterday, I'm reading The Gathering Storm, Winston Churchill's breakdown of how we got into, or how Hitler moved into World War II, and how the similarities are there. So with that in mind, I went to 50% cash. But I didn't sell my 10 stocks that are in the genome sequencing. And here's a list of them. And it represents now about 20% of my portfolio, 50% cash, and then a few other things. But what I really want to do is alert you as to why I'm staying in biotech. I don't think you can overcome the effect of interest rates and inflation on the market. I don't think you can overcome the effects if Xi Jinping decides to invade Taiwan, or if Vladimir decides to use his nuclear option. I don't think the market can overcome those things. So that's why I went to cash. Why I'm holding biotech is they are basically trying to take disease out of you and I's body. They're using a science called CRISPR, and they're tying that up with genome sequencing. That's basically going into our bodies and finding out any mutations that have occurred through our ancestry that give us a propensity to get anything from heart disease to cancer to Parkinson's to Alzheimer's. Those things were not given to you by God. They were acquired for you either by you or your ancestors, and they're just best, if you think about it in an automobile sense, there's something in the automobile that occurred that if the circumstances are right, it's going to shut the system down. That's in an automobile. Well, the same thing is here in your body. Now, we have adapted in the automobile to put sensors such that if, in fact, something is going to go wrong, your tire pressure is going down, your car alerts you. We also have We don't have that ability in our body other than through genome sequencing. And your doctor hasn't at your last visit said, hey, let's go downstairs and put you on the genome sequencing machine and we'll see what, in fact, you have in your future. Do you have cancer? Do you have heart disease? How about Parkinson's or Alzheimer's? Yeah, they aren't doing that. One, because genome sequencing used to cost about $1 billion. That was back in 2000. Now they've got the cost down to about 1,000. But the problem is, okay, we now know, Carrie, you've got a propensity for cancer, and we know where it is in your body, but we can't do anything about it. But there are some companies by the name of CRISPR and Beam and Editus and ABCL who are working on that. And as soon as they've got the cure, and it's for cancer, Alzheimer's, whatever, that's when the genome sequencing will take place. Again, it doesn't make a lot of sense to say, hey, Carrie, we did this $1,000 test on you, and we know you're going to die from cancer, but we can't do anything about it. Okay? So you understand why we aren't there. But if these people, the CRISPRs, the Editus, the Beams, if they get through their third stage trial, many of them are in first, some of them are in second phase. If they get through the third phase and they say, we've got sickle cell anemia control, we've got childhood blindness off the table, and if they then say we've got cancer cured, well, these stocks are just going to skyrocket. And I don't know if that's going to happen at the same time that the world is in World War III. I don't know that. I think we're headed that direction, but I don't know. So I'm going to continue to hold these. Then there's another element. I trade stocks when I trade based on momentum, and that is to say they follow a 200-day moving average and a 50-day moving average. And their momentum on these biotechs have been going down, but they're getting to where they are bumping up against the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. Now, what does that mean? That means the market is taking notice and that investors are saying, well, maybe we need to get a little bit of this. And the momentum is moving up into a positive position. I want to show you that on a chart. Now, I used to use Trading Views, but they don't support my channel. They give me what you call a affiliate program. But Moomoo, on the other hand, gives you 15 stocks and then gives you one of the best charting programs that I have seen. And I want to take you to my computer and show you what I'm discovering on these biotech stocks that may give you some inclination that, well, maybe I need to dip my toe into there, or maybe I need to increase my position. Let me take you over to my computer and show you what Moomoo is sharing with me. And oh, by the way, they want to give you 15 stocks starting on September 15th through sometime in October. Here's the ad they sent me on it while I'm going to the computer. Okay, this is my Moomoo chart, and over here is my watch list, and I can change the watch list whether I want it to be alphabetical or if I want to change it to what's up, what's down. I can have control and move this any way I want to. So I've got it under alphabetical, and I want to start with a stock called Caribou. Caribou is one of the genome sequencing stocks, and I'll show you in just a minute that if I go to Seeking Alpha, I can see exactly where they are. But here, what I want to show you is this. This is what I call my momentum line. This is my 200 moving day average. And what I can do is down here, if I click this, I can set those moving day averages up for whatever I want. I like a 200. The blue is then the 50, and the yellow is a 9-day. This is what I call my momentum line. The blue, the 50-day, is my commitment line. And then this is my trading line, if I was going to do some swing trading or such. But what I wanted to share with you, as you can see, the trend has been down. This red line has just, come down all the way. it just recently crossed over it. It looks like it was about the 1st of September. It actually crossed the alert line back on July 26th, but it crossed here and it started moving up. And what I saw is it kind of hit a resistance level that was reached back in February, on February 9th, and then it broke through it. Just a little, but it broke through it. It's been as high today as 1311, as low as 1240. I just added to my position. I now have over 1,000 shares of it because, again, this is going to turn. Down here you have your MACD, and that's another tool that you can use, and you can see that it's moving in a positive position there. So this is how I use it. Here's the MACD, and this is how I use it to help me see that the stock, the interest by the buying public has changed. Now let's look at another one in that same field. This is CRISPR, and you can see a similar. It has broken the 200-day. It broke the 500, and it's starting to inch up as well. Not as far as it hasn't crossed the 50-day up here. Let me show you how you can make this bigger so you can see it better. You just hit that thing with 4 hours. As you can see, it's right on the verge of the 50-day. So once it crosses that, I will then say, and gets up around here where some resistance levels are. If it surpasses this 8330 barrier, I'll be adding to my positions. Okay, let's go back and look. Let's go back to the charts and look at another one. This is Beam. Beam is also in this category, and you can see again what I was talking about. Let's open it up some more. That we just yesterday crossed the 200 moving average. And just today, we have crossed the 50. I want some confirmation. I see some resistance up here at about $69, $70 a share. And so I'll need to see it break that, and then I will add to my positions. Again, the point I'm making is there are times when stocks are in favor, and there's times when they're not in favor. Let me show you one that's not in favor right now. This is Google. Okay, this is why I bailed on Google. You can see the market, it fell out of favor back here in April, and it's now just hovering and staying between the 103 and the 123 level. So I don't want to be in there until the market says, gets up there, or this gets down here, and it crosses over, and the market says, yeah, this is now something where we want to put our attention. Now, this, on the other hand, is Illumina. Illumina is the people who make the machine that sequences your genome. Once, like I explained in the video, once the science is proved and the demand, your doctor says to you, let's go down and get you a genome sequencing, this will take off. So once you hear someone say, hey, they've got a cure for sickle cell anemia, you want to look at Illumina and you want to see, is it crossing that 250? It just crossed the 200-day, just crossed the 50. This will be a lagger, but it will follow it. Another one in this field is Editus. This is another one that I own. And you can see they're not there yet, like they were in Beam and Caribou. But this is how you use your charts. This is how I use Moomoo. The other thing I use Moomoo for is when I'm not here at my computer and I'm somewhere in the world, I can have this information at my fingertips on Moomoo's app, such as right there, That is my Moo app on my, get it to come in focus. That's my watch list, the same watch list that I have here on the side. I can click on the ticker and it takes me to the same graph. So I can do this while I'm having lunch with my wife somewhere, and I can keep track of it. Can I trade on it too? Yes, I can. So I would encourage you. Here again is the ad from Moo. Just went effective today, September the 15th. While I'm here on the computer, I wanted to show you why I decided to add to my holdings on Caribou. And what I did was go to my Seeking Alpha here and came over here, and I saw that they had just added today or yesterday a presentation, a slideshow on what's happening in their business. And what I was able to do was page through here, get through all the publicity or the fluff, and I came down to understand what exactly is happening. And here you can see they're showing me of the three therapies that they have, where they are in them, where their pipeline is. And as you can see, two of them one of them is in discovery, one is in embedding, and one is in phase 1. Now, what happens is then they will go to phase 2, and what that basically means is they get more patients involved to prove their theory. Then they went through and they explained to me how this new cassette they have, CHRDNA, how that platform is different than other companies' uses of CRISPR. And they basically built a case that it has a more efficient means of identifying the mutation and going deeper into the blood, and that's truly where these cells exist. When this CRISPR comes into your body, it goes to every cell in your body and checks it for the mutation, and then it is the accuracy within which it can go in, and think of it as a pair of scissors, and snip out that mutation and then replace it, reach into its backpack and replace it with the right DNA and then they dispose of the wrong DNA and it's out of your body. So as I went through this and reinforced my knowledge or increased my knowledge, that's when I decided and then I went and looked at my Moo chart and said, I'm not the only guy who's figured this out. The momentum is going in the right direction, and I want to own more of it. So I bought more today. And I get this information, as I said, from Seeking Alpha, and they are also a supporter of my channel, a sponsor, and I have negotiated that you can get, I think it's about a 66% discount on their portal, their service. And I don't see how you can, if you don't know what you're buying, you're going to probably end up buying the wrong thing. And Seeking Alpha not only gives me this kind of information, which comes from Caribou, but also gives me a multitude of people's opinions and writers about what's available and what's happening and their interpretation. And that's what you see right here. Here's somebody, Terry Chrysonolis, who's saying a strong buy. Here you have ratings, valuation C, growth, and again, they've been stagnant. So because they're in the discovery stage, but when they hit, it's going to be a rocket ship. So that's how I use Moo. and that's how I use Seeking Alpha. Over the years, I've learned to use these platforms to my advantage. And through talking with some of my tribe members, we have a stock meeting every Friday on Zoom, I've come to realize that these are very complicated, and they provide a lot of information, but you have to know how to use them. So I've gone to these supporters, Moo, Seeking Alpha, and several others, and I've said, look, I have a Discord. I have a group of people that I work with, up to 18,000 visited at different times. And I'd like to set up an ambassador. And that is someone in my realm, someone as a part of my tribe that I trust and my other tribe members trust, who understand the platform, Seeking Alpha, Moo as an example, as well as the guy who created it. And so that when my tribe members come to a point and say, how do I blow this screen up? How do I create a comparison? How do I find the conference calls that the CEO explains last year's our last quarter's profits and loss? How do I find that? Somewhere that they could go and ask the question and get an answer. So that's what I'm trying to do, is give you the tools, get you discounts on the tools, and then giving you a place to go so that you can learn how to use the tools. I mean, if you got a hammer and you don't know how to use it and what to use it for, it's not really of any value. And that's what I want to bring to you. That's how I think I can help you make better investment decisions, learn to keep more of what you make by understanding our tax code, and help you build family wealth. This is a tremendous opportunity, investing, whether it's real estate or it's the stock market, but you got to have the right tools and then know how to use them. So, again, in the description, you'll find a link to Moo. With a 15 stocks. You'll find a link to Seeking Alpha with, I believe it's about a 60% discount. And then you'll find a link to our Discord where you'll find all the stuff I'm trying to put together for you. So that's my take today. I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about Xi Jinping and Vladimir and what they're up to. In fact, they're meeting this week. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm in cash. I'm ready to make a move, and I'm sticking with my genome sequencing, genome editing, and artificial intelligence. Talk to you later.